Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers and freedom fighters. And even you statists out there. Salute to y'all. Good morning. Snapzilla Gorilla here. Snapzilla Gorilla is in the building. And I'm here to start your day off right with this live stream. Kelvin Black, salute to you. Yeah, we in here, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button when you come up in the building, when you step up in the place. Make sure you hit that like button. Decide, what's good? Salute to you. Decide, salute. Well, so we're going to get into that, Kelvin Black. A couple days ago, or was it last week? I think it was last week. Sunshine, salute to you, Queen. Salute to the beautiful sunshine in the building. I think it was last week when I talked about Donald Trump being on the list and trying to keep the list from coming out. Actually, that was earlier this week. I think it was Monday when I talked about the hypocrisy, right, about trying to get on Trump for keeping the Epstein file suppressed when the shit's been suppressed for years, right? Jeffrey Epstein supposedly offed himself. Oh, we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about what Donald Trump said about, or not what Donald Trump, but what the DOJ said, Pam Bondi and them said about Epstein offing himself, right? So we're going to get into that. But apparently, Donald Trump has been feeling a lot of pressure from his MAGA base, right? They've been on his head about getting this Epstein file released, which I will say, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of those MAGA people, right? I'm not talking about like Senator or Congressman Johnson, right? The speaker. I'm not talking about him. You know, he's a politician. I don't give a fuck what a politician or an elitist thinks. I don't care about that. What I care about is the proletariat class that I exist in, that I am a part of, you know, many of whom are statists, right? Many of whom are believers of the left-right paradigm, many of whom suffer from cognitive dissonance and cult of personality disorder, and it's not really their fault, right? But I'm glad to see that they are pushing back against Trump for what they see as Donald Trump trying to keep the Epstein files from being released. So good on them, right? This is what we need, right? We need to be able to call the people that we look to as leaders out. That's what we need to be able to do as individuals. So it's a start. But nonetheless, you know, all Donald Trump has to do is one other thing that the MAGA people love, and they'll probably be right back on his side. And it's not like they're abandoning him, right? They're just telling him, hey, get those files released. So he's feeling the pressure, right? He's feeling the pressure. His handlers, the puppet masters, they're all feeling the pressure about this Epstein file being released. And so he talked to a reporter about it. I forgot exactly who it was. You know, I don't be keeping up with these mainstream, lamestream media motherfuckers. I just don't. But I do know what he said. He said that, he basically said that he encouraged Pam Bondi to release whatever is credible of the Epstein list, right? But he also said,
watch out.
He said that there was no client list. He said there was no client list. You know what I'm saying? So this whole time, we've been expecting to see a client list once the Epstein files were released. But according to the DOJ, there is no client list. That's what they're saying, right? But My question would be, then what the hell list did Ghislaine Maxwell have? What leverage did Ghislaine Maxwell have to leverage? What leverage did she have to get get an easy sentence or get an easy conviction, right? Because she had to make a deal. She made a deal to not be thrown under the jail and all that shit, right? Because she was she recruited all the underage girls, right? Not all of them, but she recruited quite a bit of them. And, she was facing a lot of time. She was facing a lot of heat, right? If convicted, she would have been doing a lot of time in prison. And they were saying that she had a list, right? That's what they were saying. They were saying, oh yeah, well, Ghislaine Maxwell has a list. She's going to give up the list to the government for them to take it easy on her. Well, what about that list? Was that not a client list? Where was the RICO? Exactly. It should have been a RICO, like it was against Diddy. If that is a great point, Kelvin Black. If Epstein had done all that he had done, which we know he had, right? He got convicted. Why wasn't that a RICO? Why wasn't that a RICO? Racketeering, intimidation, coercion. I forgot what the C stands for. Fool ass Earthman in the building, dropping a super chat on me, man. I appreciate you, brother. Always coming through and supporting your boy. I appreciate that. Thank you, fool ass Earthman. I am focused. So, Ghislaine Maxwell gave up a list. She gave up evidence. A list of individuals that participated in Epstein's nasty dalliances and nasty parties. And, they went to the island and all this other shit. They had a flight manifest. Wouldn't that be considered a list? Now, they released certain names on that manifest. A lot of names of a lot of elite, famous individuals. But does that prove that they actually were participating in that? No, there's not necessarily. But what were they going to that island for? If that island was set up for that, one can make and draw conclusions and make assumptions. But we do know what was that Prince of England? Prince, I forgot his name. One of the princes. Prince Andrew. Oh, he definitely got caught up. There was evidence that he participated in the nasty behaviors. Now, there were a number of individuals. Where did they get the names of the people that they already called out? Right? So are we to believe that there are no pictures, no video that Epstein kept? Are we saying that? Is that what Donald Trump is saying? Is that what the DOJ is saying? If they're saying there's no client list, then what the fuck do we want the Epstein files for? And then he said that, that was made up by Obama. The whole thing about the Epstein files and all these things. And, that was made up by Barack Obama. That was made up by Joe Biden. That was made up by this president and that president. And then he tried to equate it to the Russiagate. So then, if all this was made up by Democrat presidents, then how in the frack fuck did Jeffrey Epstein get convicted? I don't remember everything he got convicted for, but remember, part of the charges was that he was facilitating, right? He was facilitating sexual acts for grown-ass men and women and underage girls. So if they were able to convict him That means that they had evidence to convince a jury beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jeffrey Epstein provided underage girls to nasty, elite motherfuckers. So there has to be a list of names somewhere. There has to be a list of names. Right? So what are we talking about when we say there's no client list? What are we talking about when we say there's no client list? Then why are we not just releasing the evidence? Why aren't we just releasing the Epstein files? Just put everything out in the open. Put everything out in the open. If there's no client list, if it's made up, there's nothing, there's no credibility behind it. You told Bondi to release what's credible. No, release the whole thing. Don't release what you feel is credible and what Pam Bondi might feel is credible. Release the whole shit and let the public decide for themselves what they want to believe based on the veracity of the evidence that you release. That's how this works. When you go to court and you're on trial and all that other shit, and you're trying to convince a jury or something, and you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? What do you have to do if you're a lawyer? You don't just present evidence that you feel is credible. You present everything. It's called this during discovery. So during discovery, you submit every piece of evidence or anything that has anything to do with what you're on trial for. And if you don't, then you are manipulating the case. There's a term for it. I forgot. There's a term for it when you don't provide all the evidence that you are aware of, because you don't want it to mess up your case. I forgot what that term was. Sunshine says exactly. Why gatekeep the evidence? Exactly. Let it all out. Oh, release was credible. Well, what you're doing there when you say that, when you say release was credible, you're sending a message to Pam Bondi. What is that message? Well, it's for her to interpret. So now, instead of just releasing the whole thing, instead of telling Pam Bondi, yeah, let all that shit out. Let it all out. The people need to know. You're telling her release was credible. Now now she has to go through it, and she has to determine what's credible to her, right? Instead of just releasing the whole thing. This is wild. This is insidious work. True Collier says, or Tina, my bad. Tina Collier says, because they all on the list. I believe that. I believe a lot of the elite class is on that list, especially those individuals in entertainment, in politics, wealthy individuals. These people have sick and insidious proclivities that you can't even imagine. You can't even think the things up that these people want to do to children. And I don't understand it myself because I'm not one of them. I don't understand what this sick attraction to children are. I don't understand it, right? But this is what they have. They have this proclivity. They have this, they have this need. And well, it's not a need. But, this is one reason they're trying to make PDF-philia. This is why they're trying to make PDF-philia a eyes wide shut society. I agree. Says the homeless. The homeless servant. I can't read the whole thing. But you get, yeah, exactly. Eyes wide shut society. They love to throw in our face exactly what they're doing, and we just have to believe what they're showing us, right? Like the movie Eyes Wide Shut. They tell us all the time. They tell us what they're doing. They tell us what kind of sickness they have. They throw it in their face because they know, in their mind, we can't do anything about it because they have this hubris thing going on. It's all hubris. But nonetheless, this is what we got going on. JER, salute to you. Troy Silver Fox, salute. But yeah, now everything is about the Epstein files and this and that. And now we're being told that it's the same as Russiagate and that they're making all this shit up. For what purpose? Right? And here's the thing. The people that deal with Epstein and the people that Epstein dealt with are very, very, very powerful individuals. And the minute they sensed that he was out of pocket, they could have took him out, right? None of us wouldn't even known who Epstein was, right? It wasn't like he was a celebrity before he got caught up in all this. He wasn't a movie star. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't any of that. He wasn't some type of diplomat. No, he wasn't a news reporter. He wasn't any of those things, right? He was a facilitator of nasty behaviors. He was a mover and shaker behind the scenes. That's what he was. Sunshine is saying 15, 16, 17, all minors. Why are we, Sunshine, are you having to explain to people what a minor is? Is that what's going on? Don't tell me that somebody's trying to act like diddling with 15, 16, and 17-year-olds is not nasty. That's insidious. So y'all in my comment section. See, this is why I love free speech. Don't block them. Leave that shit up there. If they're trying to justify these behaviors, I want people to see that there are individuals out there amongst them that would justify this behavior and thus participate in this behavior. Because if you think it's justifiable, why would you defend it? I mean, if you think it's justifiable, why wouldn't you participate? Right? What will stop you from committing these acts? Right? I know they got the different term for the different ages of minors, ebophilia and ephebophilia. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't give a fuck about the degrees of child diddling. Child diddling is child diddling. Point blank in the period. So 15, 16, 17, let me tell you something. You put your hands on my 15, 16, 17-year-old child, you will no longer have hands. You won't have hands, you won't have feet, and you won't have a head. And they won't be able to identify your body. Let's just say that. See, this is why we need people to be able to say what they want. Phil says 18 is a lucky number. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's just that legally, you can't do anything about it. Right? If you are a father or a mother and you have an 18-year-old child,
watch out, vehicle on shoulder.
There's nothing you can do to stop them from dating a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old. That's the only difference between an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old is legally they are adults and you can't stop them. But I still believe 18 is too young for somebody in their 30s and 40s. Right? Yes, 21 is an adult in some states, but you got to look at the map to see what the age of consent is. I don't think there's a state where the age of consent is 21. I think it's like 17 and 18. There are states where it's 16, which is ridiculous. Right? A 16-year-old, if you can't legally buy alcohol, legally buy alcohol. See, this is why I have a problem with the legal system and man-made laws. It's all based on how the lawmakers are feeling about a certain thing. It doesn't make sense that an 18-year-old can get sent off to war but can't buy alcohol. A 16-year-old can get sent off to war to die and kill for this country, but they can't buy alcohol, and they can't buy, in some states, a long gun. They can't buy a semi-automatic rifle, right? They can't buy a pistol. It's a bunch of bullshit. Salute Marcy T. Marcy T is my bot burner, just so y'all know. She likes to burn bots. So if she detects any botism in the chat, she's gonna put your ass in the goddamn recycling bin. You understand what I'm talking about? So careful with your botism. But salute to Marcy T, Queen Marcy T, man. I love her. That she has been riding with your boy for quite a while. I met her in the Fullerton Informers chat. Wait, was it Marcy T? Was it the Fullerton Informer, or was it Brian's? Yeah, we've been rocking for a minute. Sunshine as well. I think I met Sunshine. Sunshine, where I meet you at? I met you in one of them chats. I met you in we were both mods for somebody. Was it Hassan Campbell? I think I met Sunshine in Hassan. But you know, it man. Listen, I'm glad the MAGA base is seeing what type of person Trump really is. And it's no different than any other politician or elite class member, right? Donald Trump is one of many elite class members where they don't, right? They try to hide certain things that would be a problem for them. I'm not saying Donald Trump is on the Epstein list. I'm not. Elon Musk is saying that. Elon Musk said that, which is why this whole thing came about. But Donald Trump is no, Epstein is no, Elon Musk is no different than Donald Trump, because Elon Musk clearly knew or had some type of idea, or for whatever reason believed Donald Trump was in the Epstein client list, and didn't say anything until they started beefing. You got to watch people like that. You got to watch people like that. If you know somebody that has, if you guys, let's say you and somebody else have a mutual friend. You guys are all friends. And that mutual friend of y'all's got caught up in something that the other friend knew about and you didn't know about it. He knew about it for years, right? Y'all mutual friend did some horrible shit, and one of you knew about it and the other one didn't. So let's say you never knew about it, but your other friend knew about it for years, and then once they started beefing, he started putting him on blast, your mutual friend on blast about it. And you like, hold on, man. You got to stop and think. How long did you know about this? Oh, I knew for years, man. So you didn't have a problem with what he done for years. But now that you started beefing, you got a problem with it. This is my problem with Elon Musk. If Elon Musk, if what he says is true, that Donald Trump is on the Epstein client list, then I have a problem with Elon Musk as well, right? But this is what they do. They cover for each other. They back each other. They hide each other's secrets. And then once you piss them off, they release all that shit. They start putting you on blast. They will eat each other, right? And I say let them. But here's the problem with Donald Trump and Elon Musk eating each other, is that they're doing it publicly. They're doing it on Twitter and Truth Social. And it's a dog and pony show, right? It's a dog and pony show. All this is a distraction for something. This is what this boils down to. This is a distraction for something that I'm not aware of yet. But there's always something that comes about that you're like, holy shit. This happened while Donald Trump was, it was being made a big deal of that Donald Trump didn't want to release the list. Now he's saying release was credible. But he's also saying that, the deep state made up the Epstein file and they created an Epstein file to blah, blah, blah. Right? They say, oh, it's just like the Russia hoax. That's what Donald Trump is saying right now. Right? He's saying, oh, there's no client list and the Epstein files were made up. Marcia T says they pretend to be beefing and they're not. No, they're not beefing. Are we kidding? They're not beefing. They're probably at Mar-a-Lago right now into what fools they're making of people. So while I applaud a lot of the MAGA people for pushing Donald Trump to release these files, I'm sad to say that it's all part of the plan, because they have to stir up shit. They got to, you know what I mean? Because so now Donald Trump is saying, okay, release was credible, but no one's going to pay attention to the what's credible part. So Pam Bondi is going to release Epstein files, y'all. She's going to do it. Yeah, she's going to do it at some point. The DOJ, Pam Bondi, is going to release the Epstein files. It's going to be a nothing burger and people are going to forget about it and it's going to go away. In my opinion, that's what this is all about. Make a big deal out of it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Make Elon Musk and Donald Trump beef about it. Elon Musk throws it out there that Donald Trump is on the list. So for weeks and weeks and weeks, we're talking about, oh, release the files. Do this, do that. Hey, and guess what? It's all a buzz right now. So when they release the files and there's nothing in it, well, it goes away. And guess who gets off the hook? All those individuals that participated with Jeffrey Epstein in these nasty ass behaviors. It's all going to come to nothing. Or it might. There might be a list that comes out at some point, but I doubt it. Because if it didn't come out after Ghislaine Maxwell, if the name's Ghislaine Maxwell name didn't come out, why would they release the client list if there is one? Yeah, 273 people in the building. Let's hit the like button, man. Let's get the likes to 50 or something. Uh-oh, Marcy T out there sniping bots. She out there she getting y'all out of here. Trippo says, why the Republicans covering for Epstein? Are they? I'm not aware that they're covering for him, but let's say they are covering for him. Because they all are, not all of them, but a lot of them might be in the same type of shit that Epstein was into. See, we have to understand something. Epstein wasn't just out there diddling kids, right? He wasn't some lone pervert hanging out by a school, waiting on the right moment and opportunity to stalk a little child and then have their way with it. Or he wasn't some teacher grooming a 14, 15-year-old kid for months and months and months. No, Jeffrey Epstein wasn't that type of violator. he sent Ghislaine Maxwell and other women to recruit young girls caught up in sex trafficking. We have to understand how large of a scale this is on. This is a grand scale thing. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just diddling kids, man. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I don't know. I think he might have been accused of it. But, I mean, Alan Dershowitz, the lawyer, had pictures with a little girl. Alan Dershowitz is a high-class, high-profile lawyer. He is a lawyer to stars in people in the entertainment industry. He also is the lawyer that said that they should lock people up for not wearing face flags and not getting the jab during Modelo 19, right? Alan Dershowitz was caught up in this. Prince Andrew was caught up in this. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't the type to end up on Megan's Law in the goddamn computer. No. He facilitated. He brought about the ability for these dudes and these women to have their way with children. And their children. I don't care what y'all say about 15, 16, 17. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Marsha T says he sure wasn't. All he did was provide activity. Exactly. And alcohol and drugs for the rich and the famous to get their money. Exactly. To get their money and to have something over them. But we have to understand, when people like Epstein, you think you got something on these people? You think you got a dead man switch that will stop them from taking you out? No. These people that you're dealing with, Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy. See, Diddy, they let Diddy, well, Diddy's still not out yet, I don't believe. You think that because you have some pictures and maybe some video, you might have all that of these elite class people. You think you got evidence on these people because you hosted these events. You provided the drugs, you provided the alcohol, and you provided the prostitutes and the young girls. So you think that you got something on these people. Oh, no. You saw what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was powerful. Right? Jeffrey Epstein was a powerful individual who had all kinds of friends that, not friends, but these elite people, they're not friends of each other, man. Right? You have to understand how their mind works. They believe that they have to, the one up on their contemporaries. So it's not about friendship when you're at that level. It's always about competition and one-upping the next guy. And Jeffrey Epstein just could not one-up those who wanted him out. Those who wanted him, those who wanted him to be caught, those who wanted him to end up in prison, those who wanted him to end up being hung in a jail cell, had the one up on Jeffrey Epstein. They got the one up on Diddy. They got the one up on anybody else, like maybe even a Hugh Hefner. See, Hugh Hefner was a facilitator as well. Hugh Hefner was a facilitator. But Hugh Hefner stayed in pocket. He stayed in pocket. He knew where his place was. Hugh Hefner stayed in his place. So he got away with what he had to get away with for all these years in the Playboy Mansion and all that shit. Yeah. You think all those girls in the Playboy Mansion that was hanging out were of age? Well, that's a whole nother story, because there are stories about that as well. Look at the guy, the Hustlers magazine, the other one. Do y'all know what these motherfuckers had in their articles? What was written in these articles, in the magazines, of articles of people writing about nasty shit that involve children? Y'all have no idea. You can't rationalize and try to. There is no understanding why these elite people do what they do without being like them. If you're someone like myself, or if you have a moral compass that guides you, right? If you have a moral compass that guides you, and you are able to see that, you know, messing with kids is wrong. As an adult, you're of a certain age, you should not be dealing with children. If you have that understanding and you can't fathom doing anything like that, then you're never going to understand these people. But what you should understand is that because you would think, well, why would they do that? Why they have access to all the women in the world. They got access to all the grown women in the world. You know, they can find a nice 25, 26-year-old girl, you know what I'm saying? And they got all the bread, but look, they do have access to those girls, those women. They do things with grown women. But what they do is they also do things with young underage girls. And they'll have grown women doing things with underage girls. It's about power. It's about power. It is about control. It's about, they don't want you to tell them what they can and can't do, because they got all the money and they got all the power. They got the keys to the kingdom. So you can't tell them shit. That's what it's about. Power and control. They want control over you and myself. And they want access to our children as they see fit. Why? Don't know. It's sick. But it's about control and power. It's about, what can I do to get over? What can I do to show someone that I have this level of power? I can't do it openly. Not right now, because of the way the world is. There are way too many people to put myself out there like that. And once they discover what we're doing, well, we'll lose control. So what we need to do is we need to hide this behavior, right? We hide the behavior. We hide it, but we do it, but we hide the behavior until we get to a point where we no longer need to hide it. And that's what they're working on right now. Kyle says Republicans have access to little girls, unfortunately. Well, Republicans have access to little girls. The Democrats have access to little girls. It's not a left or right thing. Exactly. I'm looking at the UPS more than I'm looking at the screen. It is perfectly legal. I got both my hands on the screen. I got both my hands on the wheel. I'm looking forward. I'm paying attention to the road. I'm looking at my navigation, which you're allowed to do. If my navigation was on my phone right now instead of the YouTube, I would be looking at the navigation there. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. What I'm not doing is I'm not texting and driving, and I'm not holding the phone up with my hand. So, yeah, you guys that come in here and try to get on me about driving distracted, if you don't want me to be distracted, don't write in the chat. That's the best way for me not to be distracted, right? If I am distracted, y'all feel like I'm distracted, then why are you writing in the chat? If you had a problem with me driving and doing my live stream and you don't want me to be distracted, the best thing you can do is not write in the chat. If you feel like that's a distraction, then don't write in the chat. I don't understand this. This happens every day. I don't understand some of y'all's mentality and logic. I don't understand it because you guys like to go to people's channels who you guys find, whether it be annoying or you think they're lying. You don't like hearing what they have to say, and all you do is complain. You say little silly stupid ass shit like, why am I listening to this guy? Oh, I'm out of here. Oh, you say things like that, but you're in the chat writing it. Why are you in my chat writing it? You don't need to make those announcements. You don't need to make these proclamations and announce yourself as someone who doesn't want to consume my content. Simply just don't. I mean, you can do what you want. You can write whatever you want in the chat. I'm just trying to help you guys understand that there is a better way to go about it. If y'all got a problem with what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, or you have a problem with me, you don't like the way I talk or whatever, or you think I'm boring, then all you gotta do is not even scroll up. YouTube makes it very easy now for you to scroll up a live stream. You can just scroll up. These vertical live streams are very convenient. It's convenient for the YouTuber. It's convenient for the members in the chat. It's convenient for the viewers. All you gotta do is scroll up and find out who's next. It's okay. You won't hurt my feelings if you scroll past my channel, because that's what I do. What I do when people are doing live streams or videos and I don't like them and I don't enjoy their content, I simply don't watch it. And I don't need to tell them that I'm not going to watch it. I don't need to tell them that because I don't care about it. But see, y'all care about me, so you want my attention. You want to tell me that you don't like me. You have to make these proclamations because y'all are fascinated. I don't know what it is. When I don't give any time and attention and energy to anybody that I don't enjoy, unless I'm doing content for a particular reason and they're saying some crazy wild shit that I want to break down and debunk. But at that point, it's just for educational purposes. It's just for educational purposes. It's to expose the lies and expose the bullshit. I'll do that from time to time. I'll expose the hypocrisy. I'll expose the contradictions. I'll expose all those things, but you won't catch me watching their whole video just for me to enjoy or try to entertain myself, because they simply just don't do that for me, and it's okay. It's okay. So at the end of the day, man, if Donald Trump is on this list, if Donald Trump is in the Epstein files as being a client, if Ghislaine Maxwell gave him up as a client, he is not the only one. This was an enterprise for Jeffrey Epstein. This was his business, right? He moved money around amongst the elite class because he was providing a service, right? That's what he did. And it wasn't just Donald Trump. So, the Donald Trump saying there's no client list, I mean, come on now. Come on. Y'all, I know y'all ain't gonna believe that. There is definitely a client list. There's definitely a client list somewhere. Epstein, somebody like Epstein kept that shit somewhere, whether it be in a hard copy in a folder or in the a thumb drive, or in a cloud somewhere. Trust me, no way he operated as he did and got convicted for it if he doesn't have a list. And it might be in his head. He might have pictures. They say that he had pictures and they had, videos. No one's, listen, Donald Trump coming out talking about there's no list. Oh, it was made up. Come on, man. Miss me with the bullshit. Put everything out and let the people decide for themselves what they want to believe. Let the people decide what they feel is credible or not. Well, how is Pam Bondi? What qualifies her to determine what's credible? You know what I'm saying? Like, these files were worked on for years and years and years by other investigators and other prosecutors and other people. They used these files to convict Epstein. They used other evidence to convict Epstein. The work was already done. Release the work that was already done. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do. Release everything and then let us decide. What's this credible shit? It's bullshit, is what it is. It's a stalling tactic, right? It's manipulation, straight up and down. So why? And here, I'm gonna leave y'all with this question. I'll leave y'all with this question for Donald Trump. Since he begged the question, I'm going to ask it. If the Epstein files were made up, because that's what he said, right? The Epstein files were made up by Obama and these other guys, right? If the Epstein files were made up like the Russia files, then why would you tell Pam Bondi to find what's credible? If they're made up, then wouldn't that mean nothing in the files are credible? How is it that they're credible? How are you telling her to find credible shit in files that were made up? Make it make sense. Donald Trump just talking out of his ass, right? Just talking out his ass. So that's what we're dealing with, y'all. But this is no surprise. This is no surprise. These Epstein files, like I said, I believe that they're going to release what they call Epstein files. There's not going to be anything in it. It's going to be a nothing burger. They're going to sweep it under the rug, and no one is going to think about why Epstein got convicted in the first fucking place. No one's going to think about why Ghislaine Maxwell took a plea deal and got what time she did, and had, like, she wouldn't have to plead anything. Jeffrey Epstein would not be convicted of anything if the files were made up. Stop it. We got to stop this bullshit. We got to stop the nonsense, man. Just because our favorite person came out and said something, so we automatically, no, fuck all that, man. All these people are liars. They can't convince me that there are no Epstein files that are credible or that they're made up. Stop it. Stop it with this made up shit. Oh yeah, Obama made it up. And it's these trigger words, these key words that they use. Blame it on Obama. Blame it on Biden, because he knows that the MAGA base don't like him. And so they're going to go with what he says. But I know even the MAGA people are smarter than that, right? And that, all we got to do is start thinking a little bit further past what they want us to believe. Coach Will says this MFer looks stressed out to the max. Okay. Whatever you say, pal. Am I MAGA? Based on what you heard me say, do you believe that I'm MAGA? Based on what you heard me, what I've been talking about? I'll be honest, this is the biggest cover-up in history. Absolutely. It's one of them, for sure. Anyway, y'all. Oh, you heard nothing? No, I'm not MAGA. I'm not MAGA at all. I'm not a statist. I am a freeman. I am a freedom-loving anarchist. So I have no allegiance to any political party. I have no allegiance to any political group, whether it be MAGA, liberal, conservative, Antifa, and all this bullshit. Nope, I have no allegiance to any of that. I have allegiance to individual freedom. That's what I got allegiance to. And I have allegiance to people that also have an allegiance to, I have an allegiance to freedom and freedom-loving individuals. You'll see some of them in my chat. They have wrenches. Marcy T is one of them. So, yeah, I'm not MAGA. I am freedom. Hence the name Freedom's March. Anyway, that's all I got for now, y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. Please hit that like button or hit the downvote button or whatever the case you want to do. And yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man. Salute to Marcy T, Sunshine, Jay Black, or no, not Jay. What am I talking about? Kelvin Black, and all those guys that support me, all those men and women that support to all my wrenches, and a salute to the fool ass Earthman for dropping that super chat on your boy. I appreciate that. Every time he comes up in my chat, he drops a super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Anyway, y'all, I'm holler at y'all later. And listen, don't believe everything the orange man is telling you, right? Call him out on that bullshit. Oh, you saying that the Epstein files are made up? Then how did Epstein get convicted? Come on, make it make sense, y'all. There has to be files on Epstein that are legitimate for him to have been convicted. So I'll leave you guys with that. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and we're gonna keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.